Hey everyone, welcome to For Your Ears Only. Now, this is going to be a pretty unique podcast because it isn't a show that just anyone can access. This is actually a limited run podcast series that only you, meaning select WIS and Company clients, can listen to. And I'm going to let my co-host for this series get into why WIS decided to do this for you. But before I do that, I'm thinking maybe I should take a second just to introduce myself, since you're probably going to be hearing a lot of my voice as well. My name is John Palumbo. I'm the founder of a podcast production company called BigHeads Network that primarily produces private or internal podcasts for corporations. In fact, I produce a private show for WIS called WIS and That, which is designed to inspire, inform, and educate their employees. And I co-host that podcast with the guy who will be co-hosting this show with me, and that's Paul Peterson. Hey, Paul.
Hey, John.
All right. So like I mentioned, Paul and I do an internal podcast show together for WIS employees, and we got to talking recently, and it hit us that it would be very cool if we also did a private podcast for WIS clients too. And I think, Paul, why don't you talk a little bit about that and maybe give the folks listening just an idea of what's coming their way and how all this kind of came about?
Yeah, sure, John. And I think it's important, just a little background on the podcasting journey. You know, when we realized a year ago, back in March of 2020, that there was this strong possibility that we were going to be remote for an extended period of time, I was fearful that we were going to lose a lot of the connectivity that we had with one another here at WIS. And because that togetherness has been something that we've depended upon as one of the key factors of making us who we are. And our cultures at WIS has been built upon these internal relationships and just the openness that we have with one another. So, you know, I really wanted to explore different mediums that enabled us to stay in contact with one another. And you know, we started with videos on Zoom and they were effective at first, but as the pandemic wore on, you know, clearly we were seeing Zoom fatigue, and I needed to find just a different way to engage. And thankfully, look, I was introduced to you at BigHeads, and you know what I love about the podcast that we've been doing internally at WIS, we've been able to do a bunch of things with it by, you know, speaking and engaging with experts on different topics that help build skills. We've brought some of our own people on, which has been pretty cool to explore some innovation. And we've had people come on to provide some inspiration. So I think it's just been a great medium for us because the podcasts are very focused, right? So we could pick a topic and really get deep into it, but it's very flexible. You know, our people can listen whenever they want to. So I totally love that. And honestly, like, I have to do it, John. It's not a plug, but you do an awesome job for us and you make the podcast entertaining. So I think, you know, it's like, yeah, you want to get information out there, but you want the people to enjoy listening to it. Right. And I saw such a positive impact in the way that we were doing these podcasts and how they've helped us internally. And I thought, what the heck? Why are we not doing this for our clients? and we owe it to them. You know, we owe it to our clients to continue to find ways for us to be valuable to them and be an informative resource. And we have incredibly dynamic and curious clients that we're blessed to interact with. And I know that there are tons of other podcasts out there, but I thought we can really look in to honing in on focusing on topics in a more personal and a more customized way. And, you know, around problems that we know that our clients are facing. Right. And we've run into a lot of the same problems too, you know? So as we've continued at WIS to evolve into more than just an accounting and tax firm and into an extension of our clients' teams and serving in this management advisory role, we owe it to them. We want to be proactively providing them with meaningful content and giving them ideas. And these podcasts are a great way to do this. And we have a great series planned, right, John?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we have episodes that our clients have been asking us about, from topics like storytelling to improving customer experience to talent acquisition. And then there are topics we think they'll find very interesting, like cross-pollination and the art of giving feedback. So what I love is that our clients can choose to listen to the podcast whenever they find it convenient. And honestly, like, they could pick the topics that they feel they're most interested in. I know that John and I would love for all of you out there, of course, to listen to every one of them. But seriously, we just want to help you, whether that's with your business, whether it's with leadership development.
Yep.
My dream, honestly, here is that we become a steady and a reliable podcast for them where they view us as an extension of that ongoing knowledge, resource, and development. And lastly, we want this to be entertaining. We want you to enjoy listening to it. We don't want it to be boring. So I'm really excited to get this going.
Yeah. And like Paul said, I mean, this is all about delivering content that you actually need and will use. And I can promise you, like Paul said, it will be entertaining. And I know you're probably thinking, come on, man, right? How entertaining can an accounting firm be, right?
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, but it will be. I mean, in fact, I'll say this. If you already listen to some of the business podcasts that are out there, I would argue that this one is going to be just as good, if not better than all of those. And here's what I think is the best part. The platform that houses this podcast has a comment feature. So you can not only weigh in with your thoughts about each episode, but you could toss out your own insights and ideas and even start a conversation with other WIS clients. It's like a virtual networking, knowledge sharing, brainstorming, even commiserating platform. So, all right, so let's get to it. We have a couple episodes that are live along with this one, so check them out when you can. And if you want to share this podcast series with other people at your organization, you can just share with them the password that we gave you, but please remember to remind them to keep that password under wraps because this is private after all. So, all right, Paul, here we go.
Let's do it.